My biggest fear would be when the first comes and I don't get the rent.
I found that my tenant had dumped concrete down my toilet. Can you believe Fair Housing fined me $5,000 for that?
How do you onboard your tenants? What do you do?
I don't even know if I do it right.
If you're a landlord, don't just rent perfect. The Rent Perfect podcast with property expert and private investigator, David Pickron.
Well, welcome to another episode of the Rent Perfect podcast. Excited you're here joining us today. Today we're going to talk about something interesting, kind of a change that I made in investing probably about 4 years ago, and that is short-term rentals. Some people call them vacation rentals, VRBOs, Airbnbs. And it all came about because in some areas of the country, the market was getting so high for these purchase prices of these properties that we weren't able to make the rents pay the mortgages, and we were getting creative ways that we could stay in the real estate business, keep purchasing properties, and keep paying those mortgage payments. And so Stephanie Pickron, my sweet wife, which I've invited onto the show today, who runs our short-term rentals. I'm pretty excited to have you today. Stephanie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Hey, you've been mainly the one that manages our residential portfolio. And for years, you've done the long-term holds, and we've screened them correctly, and we've got the rent pays going, and we did all this stuff, and it was fairly easy once we did it correctly. And we talk a lot about Rent Perfect on, making sure you're managing correctly. When you do it, it's easy if you do it right from the beginning. But on these short-term vacation rentals, it's kind of a whole nother ballgame. What do you see as the difference in your short-term rentals versus your long-term holds?
Well, my short-term rentals are a lot of fun because I have a whole new group of friends around the country, and I know about their grandkids, and I get Christmas cards, and I have become truly friends with these people that actually text me and want to come stay again and again and again, and I love it. I learn about their lives, and they share all sorts of things with me, and we've become friends.
Well, I love that because a lot of times we teach don't get in a friendship relationship with your long-term holds because when they can't pay the rent, you're the friend that's going to help them bail out. But in vacation rentals and short-term rentals, usually we have the money up front, so we're really not worried about getting paid anymore in an investment like this. And so you're able to more or less be a concierge and help them through their vacation and be almost part of their lives during a vacation.
Yeah, and I think that's my gift in maybe this world, in this life right now, because that's what I do. I clean. And I'm a good, let me help you have the best vacation you can have.
Awesome. Well, years ago we got to the point where we're wondering with how are we going to take our investment career with these prices in Arizona being so high. And we know our listeners are all over the country, and you have some markets out there that are crazy high and some that aren't. But in our area, we had to kind of get creative. So we found some developments that we really thought would qualify for short-term vacation rentals. And I think as we went through our properties and we saw one in the middle of a neighborhood, we'd go, that's not too fun to stay at on a vacation, and that doesn't have a lot to offer. But we started finding properties that offered people something on a vacation that is better than a hotel experience, right? So what do you think some of those things that people are looking for as they look for a vacation, or maybe even a place to stay for the winter or as winter visitors or something like that? What do you think they're looking for in a property?
Well, they more than one room, more than one bedroom. So they could stay at a Residence Inn and just have one room. But here I think they're looking for more of a home away from home.
Right.
Gated community.
Okay.
Something with a walking trail, pool, jacuzzi, a workout room, something that they could have to attend to if they needed that.
Perfect. I love that because they're not coming really for our property. They're really coming for another event, right? But in coming for another event, what makes their stay so much better is, like you said, multiple bedrooms, couple bathrooms, a kitchen, right? I mean, when you go to a hotel room, think of the hotel rooms you stay in. You get a bathroom and a bed, maybe 2 queens and a king, and that's it. Yeah. How can you really have a good family experience out of a hotel room? I know you and I have stayed in all kinds of VRBOs, and we've had some great experiences, and we've had some we've walked into and we went like, I'm not staying here. Remember that one in Utah?
I was just going to say, can I remind you of our little trip to Utah. That was a little different experience. Definitely not. It definitely did not live up to its
No, it didn't.
pictures
So I got in trouble in Utah, guys. Took my wife up there, thought we were going to stay in this quaint little bed and breakfast. It was marketed well online, had these bedrooms. It ended up being at the end of a shopping center, part of a wedding center, and it was kind of like the
rooms.
Yeah,
it was just rooms, themed rooms.
Where the bride and groom stayed after their night with their wedding. So got in a lot of trouble on that one. Hey, good on those guys for good marketing, but they certainly did not provide the experience that we were looking for.
Right.
And so really what we're talking about today is giving that vacation experience to the people, because ultimately we're looking for good reviews and return clients.
We love return clients.
So, Stephanie, when you buy a new home and you got to furnish them, and the difference between our long-term and our short-term is, you've got an investment of $15,000, $20,000 in furnishing these places with couches and tables. And what is the first thing that you really want to spend your money on? What do you look to that really is going to get some good bang for your buck?
Well, we like to put in good beds. We like clean line furniture. We don't have a lot of knickknacks. We have a very sophisticated, clean, bright place for these for our clients to stay. They love it. They love the cleanliness. They love the bright paint. It's clean. I get compliments all the time on my decorating, on my beds, on my linens.
You go white. You do a lot of white,
yeah,
right? Because white says clean, and people want to know that they're staying in a clean place.
Yeah.
You also said something, knickknacks, right? Because we've stayed in somewhere there's just knickknacks everywhere, and you feel like you're staying in someone else's place, right? Like pictures of their kids on the wall, and I don't know that people are looking for that experience.
No, well, they want it to be their own space.
Right.
They want it to, they don't want to see our family albums on the table. They want to make their own memories. And that's one thing that I think that everyone loves is it's just, they can come in and feel like it's their own. Now, they don't want to stay at a hotel, but they want the hotel experience. They want the white bedding. They want the fluffy white towels. They want those things that you can get at the Marriott.
Right.
But they want it in their own space, which is a little bit more rooms, more bathrooms, a laundry room on access to.
Right.
A kitchen.
Right. Now you talked about you put some money into bedding. You want good bedding.
Good bedding.
Because we all want a good night's sleep. Mm-hmm. What else do people really look for?
They really like the nice towels that we provide.
So spend a little bit more on your towels.
Yeah,
right? Don't go the real cheap thin ones.
You really need to. You got to have decent linens in there. I get compliments on my sheets. I have people contact me and ask me, where did you get these sheets? Where did you get your towels? Like specifically where I am like telling them where to go and how to get them.
And I remember one particular case that had an autistic kid that stayed there that slept all through the night in your bed.
Yes.
And they were like, we need to get these sheets because our son never sleeps like this. And and so that was fun and rewarding in a way too to share that. But
it always is.
But also they're looking for coffee makers, right?
Good coffee makers. Now this is crazy, and even a good hairdryer. I mean, you don't want to put in a crappy hairdryer. They're not packing that stuff. They're coming to stay there. They want decent things that are not going to break down.
Perfect. Love that. And then also, let's come out of inside the unit. Let's go back to location real quick. These vacation rentals are so different, right? I mean, some are next to Disneyland. I don't have to tell you, why the people are attracted to your VRBO or your Airbnb next to Disneyland, right?
Right.
I don't have to tell you when you live in the South that come January, February, March, the people in Minnesota, Michigan, they're all looking to get out of the freezing cold weather. Right. They're going to come down here. They want a nice little stay. They want a nice little social area, right? But there are units that our clients could be holding right now as a long-term rental that could make them a lot more money. And so I'm trying to get them to think, okay, what is special about my property? And really what I see is, and I think you'll agree with this, is just location here. Whether it's downtown. So when I go on business trips or go to seminars, I'm never looking at hotels anymore. I'm always looking for a 2, 3, 4 day VRBO, next to a conference center.
Right.
So if you have something downtown next to a conference center, next to a concert venue, next to a golf course that might hold golf tournaments. You and I have went around and watched golf tournaments with our daughter playing golf quite a bit.
Yes.
And we've rented many VRBOs that are sitting around golf courses.
We have.
And so really, I want our clients to realize that you need to, if you get into the short-term vacation rental market, you need to at least have something that attracts people to that area, right? In a small town out in the middle of nowhere, it's probably not going to work. And so if you own properties now and you think about, hey, I need to make some more money, I want you to think about where is it, what goes on around there, what events go on, are there marathons?
What can it offer? Exactly.
And you might try to turn that into a vacation rental. Now, the neat thing is on a couple of ours, we have them as short-term in the winter season, and then we actually do long-term holds on them, and not real long-term, I should say
6
mid-term.
months at the most.
Yeah, 6
in
months
the
at the
summer.
most. You know, and just to get creative on your property. So we have a few properties that we rent to our friendly snowbirds coming down from Canada or Michigan, but when they leave in beginning of April, we run over to the hospital. We have a cancer center next to us, and we say, hey, for those that need to be close to the cancer center to get through chemo, and their chemo treatments every day, we have places that are open for their families to come. And so as you look at each of your properties, I want you to think about what's a better way to use it.
Traveling nurses need places to stay.
Absolutely. This is a great business to get into if you have the right property. I want to thank you for coming on the show today, Stephanie, and just let everybody know, just look at your properties. Can you make more money? And until then, continue to rent perfect.